Small Conductor Rule is not explicitly defined in Article 310.1 of the National Electrical Code, or NEC. However, it is generally recognized as a rule that applies to conductors with a cross-sectional area of 10 American wire gauge, OG, or smaller. When installing conductors routed in parallel, the individual conductors must be sized based on the total current flowing through the parallel path, even if each individual conductor carries less than its ampacity. Overcurrent protection must be provided based on the total current flowing through the parallel path, not the individual conductor ampacities. The small conductor rule is important because small conductors have higher resistance than larger conductors. When multiple small conductors are routed in parallel, the cumulative resistance can result in significant voltage drop and potential overheating. By requiring the individual conductors to be sized based on the total current, the small conductor rule ensures that the voltage drop and heating are within acceptable limits. While the small conductor rule is not explicitly stated in Article 310.1, it can be inferred from the following sections of the NEC. Firstly, Article 100.1, definition of ampacity. Secondly, Article 250.1, overcurrent protection, and thirdly, Article 310.1, conductors for general wiring. In addition to the small conductor rule, other considerations for parallel conductors include: firstly, the conductors must be securely fastened together and spaced properly to prevent overheating. Secondly, the conductors should be of the same type, such as copper or aluminum, and size. And thirdly, if the parallel conductors are installed on a transformer, the impedance and voltage drop must be considered to ensure proper operation. Let's delve deeper into the concept of ampacity as it relates to the small conductor rule. Ampacity, as defined in Article 100.1 of the NEC, is the current, in amps, that a conductor can carry continuously under the conditions of use without exceeding its temperature rating. This rating is crucial in ensuring the safe operation of electrical systems. Several factors influence a conductor's ampacity, including the conductor material, its size, the insulation type, the ambient temperature, and the number of conductors bundled together. Smaller conductors, due to their higher resistance per unit length, tend to heat up more quickly than larger conductors when carrying the same amount of current. This is why the small conductor rule mandates a careful consideration of ampacity when paralleling smaller conductors. Now let's explore overcurrent protection, which is a critical safety measure designed to protect electrical circuits from excessive current, which can lead to overheating and fires. Overcurrent protective devices, or OCTs, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to interrupt the flow of current when it exceeds a predetermined level. Article 240.1 of the NEC provides detailed requirements for overcurrent protection, including the selection and coordination of OCTs. The small conductor rule ties into overcurrent protection by requiring that the OCT be sized based on the total current flowing through the parallel path, rather than the ampacity of the individual conductors. This ensures that the circuit is adequately protected against overcurrent conditions, even if the individual conductors are operating below their rated ampacity. Conductors for general wiring are covered in Article 310.1 of the NEC, which provides tables and guidelines for determining the allowable ampacities of conductors based on various factors such as conductor size, insulation type, and installation conditions. These tables are essential for selecting the appropriate conductor size for a given application. The small conductor rule modifies the application of these tables when paralleling smaller conductors. Instead of simply selecting a conductor size based on the load current, the rule requires that the individual conductors be sized to handle the total current flowing through the parallel path. This may result in the selection of larger conductors than would otherwise be required, but it ensures that the voltage drop and heating are within acceptable limits. When working with parallel conductors, several additional considerations must be taken into account to ensure safe and reliable operation. Firstly, the conductors must be securely fastened together and spaced properly to prevent overheating. Bundling conductors together can reduce their ampacity due to the increased heat buildup. Therefore, it is important to follow the spacing requirements specified in the NEC to allow for adequate ventilation. Secondly, the conductors should be of the same type, such as copper or aluminum, in size. Mixing different conductor materials or sizes in parallel can lead to unequal current sharing, which can overload one or more of the conductors. Thirdly, if the parallel conductors are installed on a transformer, the impedance and voltage drop must be considered to ensure proper operation. Transformers have impedance, which can affect the current distribution in parallel circuits. Additionally, voltage drop can be a concern, especially in long runs of parallel conductors. It's important to calculate the voltage drop to ensure that it remains within acceptable limits. In summary, the small conductor rule is a crucial aspect of electrical safety when working with parallel conductors. It ensures that the conductors are sized appropriately to handle the total current, while also taking into account the potential for voltage drop and overheating. By following the requirements of the NEC and considering the additional factors outlined above, electricians and engineers can design and install safe and reliable electrical systems. Let's delve further into the practical implications and calculations involved when applying the small conductor rule. Consider a scenario where you need to supply a load that requires 60 amps. You decide to use parallel conductors to distribute the current. According to the small conductor rule, if you opt to use conductors of size 10 AWG or smaller, each conductor must be sized to carry the full 60 amps, even though there are multiple conductors in parallel. This means that each conductor must have an ampacity of at least 30 amps if you use 2 conductors or 20 amps if you use 3 conductors, and so on. Now, let's assume you choose to use 2 12 AWG copper conductors in parallel. According to NEC Table 310.16, a 12 AWG copper conductor with THHN insulation has an ampacity of 30 amps at 30 degrees Celsius ambient temperature. Therefore, in this scenario, using 2 12 AWG conductors in parallel would be sufficient to carry the 60 amp load, as each conductor can handle 30 amps. However, if you were to use conductors smaller than 12 AWG, such as 14 AWG, which has an ampacity of only 20 amps, you would need at least 3 conductors in parallel to meet the 60 amp requirement. In addition to conductor sizing, the small conductor rule also impacts the selection of overcurrent protection. The overcurrent protective device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, must be sized to protect the conductors against overcurrent conditions. According to the NEC, the overcurrent protection must be sized based on the ampacity of the conductors being protected. In the example above, where we are using 2 12 AWG conductors in parallel to supply a 60 amp load, the overcurrent protection must be sized at 60 amps or less. This means that you could use a 60 amp circuit breaker or a 60 amp fuse to protect the circuit. It's important to note that the overcurrent protection should not exceed the ampacity of the smallest conductor in the circuit. In other words, if you were to use a combination of 12 AWG and 14 AWG conductors in parallel, the overcurrent protection would need to be sized at 20 amps or less, which is the ampacity of the 14 AWG conductor. This is because the 14 AWG conductor is the weakest link in the circuit, and it must be protected against overcurrent conditions. Furthermore, it's essential to consider voltage drop when designing parallel conductor systems. Voltage drop occurs when the voltage at the load end of the circuit is less than the voltage at the source end due to the resistance of the conductors. Excessive voltage drop can lead to poor performance of electrical equipment and can even damage sensitive electronic devices. The amount of voltage drop in a circuit depends on several factors, including the length of the conductors, the current flowing through the conductors, and the resistance of the conductors. Smaller conductors have higher resistance per unit length than larger conductors, so they tend to experience more voltage drop. To minimize voltage drop in parallel conductor systems, it's important to select conductors that are large enough to handle the current without excessive voltage drop. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating voltage drop in circuits, and it's recommended to keep voltage drop below 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeder circuits. In addition to these calculations and considerations, it's also crucial to adhere to best practices when installing parallel conductors. This includes ensuring that the conductors are properly terminated, that they are securely fastened together, and that they are spaced properly to allow for adequate ventilation. Proper termination techniques are essential to ensure that the conductors are making good electrical contact. Loose or corroded connections can lead to increased resistance and overheating, which can damage the conductors and the equipment they are connected to. Securing the conductors together helps to prevent them from moving or vibrating, which can also lead to loose connections. Spacing the conductors properly allows for adequate ventilation, which helps to dissipate heat and prevent overheating. Let's consider some additional factors that can impact the application of the small conductor rule. Firstly, the type of insulation used on the conductors can affect their ampacity. Different insulation types have different temperature ratings, which means that they can handle different amounts of heat. Conductors with higher temperature ratings can carry more current than conductors with lower temperature ratings. NEC Table 310.16 lists the ampacities of conductors with various insulation types, such as THHN, THWN, and XHHW. It's important to select conductors with the appropriate insulation type for the application to ensure that they can handle the expected current. Secondly, the ambient temperature can also affect the ampacity of conductors. Conductors that are installed in high-temperature environments will have a lower ampacity than conductors that are installed in cooler environments. This is because the conductors will heat up more quickly in high-temperature environments, which can lead to overheating. NEC Table 310.16 includes correction factors for adjusting the ampacity of conductors based on the ambient temperature. It's important to apply these correction factors when designing electrical systems in high-temperature environments. Thirdly, the number of conductors bundled together can also affect their ampacity. When multiple conductors are bundled together, they will generate more heat than if they were installed separately. This can lead to overheating and reduce their ampacity. NEC Table 310.15b3 includes adjustment factors for adjusting the ampacity of conductors based on the number of conductors bundled together. It's important to apply these adjustment factors when designing electrical systems with bundled conductors. Finally, it's important to remember that the small conductor rule is not the only factor to consider when designing parallel conductor systems. Other factors such as voltage drop, short-circuit current rating, and coordination with overcurrent protective devices must also be taken into account to ensure that the system is safe and reliable. By considering all of these factors and following the requirements of the NEC, electricians and engineers can design and install parallel conductor systems that provide safe and reliable power distribution. Let's explore some scenarios where the application of the small conductor rule can be particularly important. Firstly, in residential wiring, it is common to use smaller gauge conductors such as 14 AWG and 12 AWG for branch circuits. When extending or modifying existing circuits, it may be tempting to simply add parallel conductors to increase the ampacity of the circuit. However, the small conductor rule must be carefully considered to ensure that the conductors are properly sized and protected. For example, if you are adding an outlet to an existing 15 amp circuit wired with 14 AWG conductors, you cannot simply add a parallel run of 14 AWG conductors to increase the circuit's ampacity to 30 amps. Instead, you would need to either upgrade the entire circuit to a larger gauge conductor, such as 12 AWG, or install a new circuit with its own overcurrent protection. Secondly, in commercial and industrial settings, parallel conductors are often used to supply large loads such as motors, HVAC equipment, and lighting systems. In these applications, the small conductor rule must be carefully applied to ensure that the conductors are adequately sized to handle the load current and that the overcurrent protection is properly coordinated. For example, if you are installing a 100 horsepower motor that requires 125 amps of current, you may need to use multiple sets of parallel conductors to supply the motor. The small conductor rule would require that each conductor be sized to carry at least 62.5 amps if using 2 parallel sets, or 41.7 amps if using 3 parallel sets. Additionally, the overcurrent protection must be sized to protect the conductors and the motor against overcurrent conditions. Thirdly, in renewable energy systems, such as solar photovoltaic or PV systems, parallel conductors are often used to combine the output of multiple solar panels or inverters. In these applications, the small conductor rule must be carefully considered to ensure that the conductors are properly sized to handle the maximum current output of the system. For example, if you are connecting multiple solar panels in parallel, the conductors must be sized to carry the sum of the short-circuit currents of all the panels. The small conductor rule would apply if the conductors used are 10 AWG or smaller, requiring them to be sized based on the total current, even if individual conductors carry less. Moreover, in temporary wiring installations, such as those used at construction sites or outdoor events, the small conductor rule must be followed to ensure the safety of workers and the public. Temporary wiring installations are often subject to harsh environmental conditions, such as extreme temperatures and moisture, which can further reduce the ampacity of conductors. Therefore, it is essential to carefully select conductors that are suitable for the environment and to follow the requirements of the NEC for temporary wiring installations. The National Electrical Code is updated regularly to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is important to stay up to date with the latest edition of the NEC and to consult with qualified electrical professionals to ensure that electrical systems are designed and installed safely and in accordance with the applicable codes and standards. In summary, the small conductor rule is an important concept in electrical safety that must be understood and applied correctly when working with parallel conductors. By following the requirements of the NEC and considering all of the factors discussed above, electricians and engineers can design and install safe and reliable electrical systems that protect people and property from the hazards of electricity. Always remember to consult the latest edition of the NEC and to seek guidance from qualified electrical professionals when designing and installing electrical systems. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is essential to take all necessary precautions to prevent accidents and injuries.